My headphone's not working. Huge news coming out of college campuses everywhere. That bat is huge. There have been 11 active shooter drills in 11 different campuses nationwide. A very insane, scary story going around of who is starting these active shooter drills and what's actually going on. 11 different places. UNH. Active shooter drills report trigger campus-wide in place for CU Boulder, of all places. Active shooter threat, active shooter reports in Iowa State. Active shooter in University in Arkansas. As shooter reports a deemed hoax. God, my headphones are not working this morning. Reports of a gunman at NAU Library in Flagstaff determined also to be a hoax. Villanova, of all places, had 2 different hoaxes of the same shooter, if not the same hoax person, in the same 4 days. Villanova hit twice with this active shooter drill. University of South Carolina also hit with an active shooter drill, but it turned out to be a hoax for swatting. Really insane stuff going on. Knoxville also joins the list of states. K-State joins the list. This is all during the welcome week for students. This is all during the welcome week. But we needed a savior. We need somebody to fix us. And with all these active shooter drills, no one can think of anyone better than Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace joined the case. Nancy Mace, South Carolina potential new governor, decided to take to Twitter and figure out who's starting these swattings. What's the reason behind this sort of thing? She got to work. She developed a case board. She looked through the cases, but first we gotta take a shot and spit it into a lesbian's mouth. South Carolina, you got a real one. Back to the board. Nancy Mace. I mind you, Detective Mace, decided to take to the task to develop an understanding of what actually happened. She had her mission. She had her goals. She took to Twitter, saying, as a mom of a student at USC, tonight was terrifying. Frantically calling my child to see if they were in the library or barricaded somewhere else on campus, making sure that they and their roommates were safe. She used Twitter to create more controversy over a hoax, and we're all grateful for her. She scoured the internet. She looked everywhere. She wanted to help. Nancy Mace couldn't do much, but she did find this one video. Now, if you look closely, what seems to be a man, a white man, so you know it has to be legit, walking on campus holding something in his right arm. Nancy Mace got down to the task. She found this video and she said to herself, that has to be the shooter. This man walking on campus alone with something in his right hand, she decided that this man has to be it. Detective Mace was on the case. It rhymes. Detective Mace is on the case. She found this man walking alone. And then she posted this screenshot, this tweet that she later took down. Here's the alleged school shooter at USC, Bolo. Bring one or else. What is white male, black shorts, gray t-shirt and backpack. Let's zoom in on this kid so we can get a good look of him. He's actively holding the gun in his left arm. That's a gun if I've ever seen one. Somebody needs to stop this kid at all costs. Detective Mace decided that this kid has to be the one and painted his picture everywhere, saying that this is a kid. This is the active shooter kid. And it turned out to be completely wrong. Now, I, for one, am incredibly thankful that South Carolina is going to be electing a hysterical woman for their governorship. And Nancy Mace, famous for a lot of things, but, you know, most importantly, famous for all these videos online of stuff like partying and taking shots and just she's a fun person. But plastering a white kid's face everywhere and saying he's the active shooter is absolutely insane. South Carolina congressman posted an image of a man inaccurately and called him the shooter, and is now in a deleted post, which is always great. I never did that. Go look at my history. You can't find anything. South Carolina Republican Nancy Mace is facing criticism for posting an online image of a man she falsely described as a campus shooter, as the state university issued a credible threat alert of a shooter in the library on Sunday. Officials at the University of South Carolina have issued a warning of an active shooter at the University of Columbia campus at 6:30 p.m., later describing the suspect as a white male in black pants, approximately 6 feet tall, in the area. Students and faculty were advised to evacuate the area to seek safe shelter and barricade yourself in a safe area as necessary until further notice. And Nancy Mace got on the task. And you get to see all these images of these kids. So they were in an active shooter drill, which turned out to be just another freaking swatting. These people that are go around and SWAT places like this, they should face serious jail time, because obviously this could literally end someone's life, end someone's, or just, you know, make them never have a career because they've been identified as a school shooter, even though they're walking on campus with a freaking umbrella. So here's another video of the kid walking. I love that this is who they thought was the campus shooter. And it just looks like a guy having a wonderful stroll through the park. Just like walking in the park, just having a moment to himself. Have you ever been identified as a school shooter when you were just having a nice stroll by yourself? In 2025, everyone thought you were insane for walking by yourself. That guy has to be a school shooter. He walks alone. He's like Liverpool. He always walks alone. Actively holding an umbrella in his left arm, crowds point at you, saying, "You're not even wearing headphones, bro. You're raw dogging this walk. You have to be deranged." This poor child will never be able to get a job ever again due to detective work by Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace called you the killer, and now you have a killer's face. But the guy actually has a killer umbrella. Here he is. Read him and weep. And for somebody that's also a ginger, we support active umbrella shooters in America. I think there was a Dr. Evil at one Austin Powers where there was an umbrella that had a gun in it. So maybe those people that are making fun of Nancy Mace, saying, "That's an umbrella, idiot. Why did you post this picture?" Nancy Mace will point back and say, "You know what? Back in the day, there was umbrella guns. And this kid looked dorky enough to create one himself. Leave these children alone. These active shooter drills are not to be tampered with." I mean, there's just like video after video of this kid just walking around with this umbrella. You know, I feel like this is racism's, because you point out Of course, you assume that Ginger walking around has. Oh, okay, now that looks like a firearm. This is on Snapchat. I think the moral of the story is this: if you're an active idiot and you decide to do a swatting, you deserve to face serious prison time for the rest of your life. All these swatting kids get away with it, and it's so easy to get away with it. But we have to have a better system for this kind of crap. We have to have a better system. And maybe we also need to apologize to Nancy Mace, because apparently umbrella kill count is 200 deaths per year, 2,800 deaths since 2000, 188 in 2022. So everyone's making fun of Nancy Mace. Umbrellas actually do kill. And I believe those numbers are worse than cancer. And we're not taking it seriously enough, and I think we should. So, Nancy, continue to be yourself. Continue to be unhinged, deranged. Taking shots online. And spitting them in people's mouths. And being a hysterical mom. It's racist because it's not an upset trans person. Is that true? Nancy Mace is going around deleting all this stuff. She just actively deleted this. Gotcha, Nancy. I already pulled it up before you could delete it. Why, Nancy? Are you gonna get sued? Are you gonna get sued, Nancy, for posting a picture of a child walking around on campus? You freaking weirdo. Detective Nancy Mace. Did she delete this one yet? Let's see if she deleted this one. She deleted the original one, but I still had it pulled up. Okay, she still has this up. South Carolina first. What does that have to do? Okay, Nancy Mace is absolutely crazy. She is just absolutely crazy. I mean, what was it? Just like a couple months ago, she decided to show her naked body in the middle of Congress, but blurted out. You're just like, are you nuts? And I think that's maybe what's really going on here is that America, all our politicians are absolutely insane. And we get what we deserve, I guess. We wanted TMZ politicians, and now we've gotten it. And now we've totally gotten it. And she's like the Real Housewives of South Carolina. Except she's not a wife or a housewife. Can you imagine being, I know she's like a worried mother, but can you imagine being this kid's mom and seeing a representative that represents Americans in Congress that is now running for governor of South Carolina post a picture of your child and said that your child is the active shooter when he is just an adorable kid in Crocs walking around with an umbrella. Also, I have never in my life as a man walked around in an umbrella. I think that's a very beta move. So maybe we do need to lock this kid up. She snowballed someone with a mouthful of spoon. Oh my gosh, Raul. I almost read that out. You're nuts, dude. Nancy. You will become the South Carolina governor for some reason, and I don't know why. But you know who was reporting on this active shooter drill or active shooter hoax? The most important news source I could possibly find. In America, we are completely bombarded with H-1B stuff. And so now we need to get our news from H-1Bs.
In the United States, false reports of active shooters prompted emergency lockdowns in Villanova University and the University of Tennessee, causing widespread panic as students returned for their fall semesters. A tense situation unfolded in Villanova University in Pennsylvania yesterday afternoon, when a 911 call reported a shooter in the law school building with at least one wounded victim. This prompted the police to swing into action with the university's
she sounds like a robot.
Alert systems, sending texts to students, warning of an active shooter on campus. and instructing them to move to a secure location. However, it was later confirmed that the report was a hoax. Villanova University president.
What's up with these? She has like 2-second pauses.
It was a hoax. Villanova University president Peter M. Donahue said that the incident caused panic and terror among students and their families, but fortunately, no one was injured.
First thing, but we are going to make sure we do use every tool in the toolbox to trace these calls. Again, we're still making sure, and Andy, I'll speak about this, making sure that every building is secure at this point while we're dismissing people one by one. But if this is true that it was a hoax, we're going to take every investigative step possible.
In another similar incident, a 9/11 call prompted authorities to swing into action to secure the University of Tennessee's campus. Amid reports of an active shooter, however, after a thorough search, police found no evidence of threat or violent incidents. An all clear has been issued after the campus was put under lockdown, and local police and FBI are investigating the circumstances behind the call.
Within quick fashion, we're...
Dude, these long pauses are killing me. something gift card. So just keep in mind, 11 schools have had active shooter drills that were a response to swatting calls. Dude, that is, people are just gonna start swatting random areas now. It first started where you just swatted streamers because you wanted to have some kind of weird experience where you felt more power over the streamer themselves. And now these kids are just going after entire colleges and schools. Somebody's going to get shot for real, and it's going to be crazy. It's not it's not a 9/11 call, it's a 9/11. 911. Did she say 9/11 call? They're actively shooting 9/11 calls. Wait, did she say that?
Under lockdown, a thorough search, police found no evidence of threat or violent incidents. An all clear has been issued after the campus was put under lockdown, and local police and FBI are investigating the circumstances behind the call.
Within quick fashion, we were able to check the appropriate locations to make sure they were all secure. And at this point, our students, faculty, and staff have been notified that there is no threat to campus. They have been released for the balance of the day. Normal operations will...
The students called 9/11. That being said, guys, if you do see an active shooter or somebody that's going to take out people, do call 911. Call the earliest 911 as soon as possible. All right, guys, have a wonderful